Welcome back to the news at 10. 3 months after the release of the kidnapped girls from Babington Macaulay Junior School, Ikorodu, one of the leaders of the gang has been arrested here in Lagos. The suspect, identified as Felix Silva, as well as 3 others, are also alleged to have masterminded the kidnap of a Chinese national in the Igondo area. Speaking on the arrest, the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State, Mr. Fatai Owosheni, explains that the alleged leader of the gang was tracked down while planning another abduction.
Is the leader of the kidnapping gang that carried out the abduction of the 3 girls that were abducted at Babington Junior Seminary School the last time. You will recall that some of the gang members were arrested, but this kingpin managed to escape. And since then, he has been raising army of criminals within Ikorodu, and their operation spans from Ikorodu to Ekpe and sometimes to Ogun State.
I do 3 types of kidnapping in Lagos. One Dangote site, Aza, Swan Boogie, they carry Swan Boogie, the grave forest. We can go meet them, say this banga tree them, they carry and they do drink them. So make them give us our own. We can tell them, so make them enter our Ezin boat for water. Where they our Ezin boat, we can carry the pool go our camp. You know, say na river now, government come, they know if we enter the river, we can carry the pool. They can give us 2 million naira. Those 3 girls own. Number 2, the number 3. Now be this one where mosquito bring come. Which one? Sanis.
Incredible. We move on to sports news for the day. Here's Ayotunde Balogun.
Time now for some sports news indeed. Well, Nigeria's senior women's basketball team's hopes of participating at this year's Olympics in Rio has been dashed. The D Tigers have been eliminated from the FIBA Women's Olympic Tournament following South Korea's victory against Belarus. The Koreans defeated the Belarusians 66-65 points in their final Group C game to finish second. All 3 teams in Group C finished on 3 points, but Belarus and Korea finished ahead of Nigeria on a superior goals difference. The D Tigers suffered an opening round defeat to Belarus 71-60 points, while the girls defeated South Korea 70-69 points. Nigeria's most decorated table tennis player, Segun Otoriola, is unhappy with the team's preparation for the Olympics, describing it as the worst ever. The 42-year-old, who will be making history in Brazil as the first African athlete to feature in 7 Olympics, said he and the athletes are still kept in the dark regarding preparation for the Games. Otoriola has already confirmed that the Rio Games will be his last, as he will focus on club duties in Belgium. Oscar Pistorius will be sentenced for the murder of his late girlfriend Riva Steenkamp on July the 6th this year. State prosecutor Jerry Nell wants a 15-year jail sentence for Pistorius, which is the minimum sentence for murder in South Africa. Judge Tokozile Masipa has adjourned the case after 3 days of testimony and arguments at the hearing.
To the accused to take this court into his confidence and to explain to this court. He hasn't done so, Madam. He hasn't done so. But the court knows that he has given a television interview, explaining himself, talking about that night. It does not matter if the accused thought she was an intruder. Is the intruder's life not important? In his view, on the argument of the defense, intentionally killed an intruder. That's not important. As long as we can just cover in our argument that he never thought he was killing Riva, then we're happy. What happened is, the consequence of his actions, the consequence of his intention, is that the deceased lost the most valuable asset she ever had, this her life. She can never walk in court, my lady. We feel that a long-term imprisonment and the minimum sentence should be imposed.
Slovakia survived a late rally from Russia to secure a 2-1 win at the ongoing Euro 2016 Championships and blew Group B of the tournament wide open. Slovakia took the lead in the 32nd minute when midfielder Marek Hamšík hit a superb long ball to Vladimir Weiss, who cut inside the left-hand side of the box and curled his shot inside the far post. Just before half-time, Hamšík picked up a short corner on the left and then struck his own superb curling shot across the goal and inside the right-hand post. Russia made the last 10 minutes intense with a header from Denis Gulashkov, but the Slovaks held on to pick their victory. And that's a wrap in sports news. The news at 10 continues shortly.
Now, Egyptian investigators say they found wreckage of an Egypt Air flight that went missing on May the 19th. A statement from the investigators said that several main locations of the wreckage had been identified. In other news, South African Paralympian Oscar Pistorius shuffled through the courtroom without his prosthetic legs today in an attempt to avoid a long jail sentence. Here's Timmy Tokwefagwimi with more.
African athlete was on his stumps when he shot his girlfriend Reeva Steenkamp through a door at his home in 2013, and his defense played up his vulnerability in court. The hearing in Pretoria was called after a court convicted him of murder, overturning a manslaughter verdict. The judge says Pistorius will be sentenced on July the 6th. In the United States, reports say the wife of the gunman who killed 49 people at a gay nightclub in Orlando, Florida, could face charges in connection with the attack. Prosecutors have convened a grand jury to investigate Noor Salman, wife of gunman Umar Martin. She's reported to have told the police she tried to talk her husband out of attacking the Pulse nightclub. Finally, U.S. President Barack Obama is scheduled to meet the Dalai Lama in private at the White House despite Chinese objections. China has denounced meetings between foreign leaders and the exiled Tibetan Buddhist spiritual leader, whom the country considers a separatist. And that's the foreign news wrap-up. It's back to you, Ijoma.
Thanks a lot, Timmy Tokwe. And the main news again. The central bank has released its grip on the Naira and has released a set of guidelines for the implementation of a flexible foreign exchange market. Announcing the guidelines in Abuja today, the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele says the value of the Naira against the US dollar will now be market-driven. Also today, the federal government resolved to adopt external borrowing to bridge the gap in infrastructure funding. The Finance Minister, Kemi Adeosun, who announced the government's plans at the end of the Federal Executive Council meeting, said the decision will guide this administration's debt management strategy for 2016 to 2019. And the wreckage of Egypt Air Paris-Cairo flight that went missing last month has been found in the Mediterranean. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks so much for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Hunyato. You have a good night.